Hey guys, no new subscribers today, so I won't take up too much of your time. But just so you know, all new subscribers do get a shout out in the video. Usually it's up front at the beginning of the video here, but since there's no new subscribers, I'll leave that till the end of the video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Excelsior. Hey true believers, Ethan Ainsworth here. Today we're reviewing Miles Morales Spider-Man number 15. This book is a little late, but I think it's fairly recent. Yeah, it's from April. Allegedly. Anyway, Miles Morales Spider-Man. I think this is the most recent issue. I've been following this series since probably June or July. It's pretty good. I've been following this character since the beginning of his time as Spider-Man, way back in 2011. This book is not. The series has been fine so far, but it's a little stale. It's a little uninteresting, and it's a little one note. Everything's taking really long to progress, and it's not tremendously intriguing, the mystery. I just want to know what's going on with Ultimatum. That is the 616 version of Miles Morales. But it's dragging it out without any actual reason. I don't know if it's because the writer doesn't know what he wants to do after that, or the writer doesn't really know what he wants to do with the concepts. But we've been following the same mystery since like Spider-Man, which is, geez, how long ago was Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2 was like 2018, I think. Anyway, geez. It's been a while. It's been a couple years. And this is the series that was supposed to answer it. The big 250th issue of Ultimate Spider-Man came out. Or they're not calling it Ultimate Spider-Man, but they're using the Ultimate Spider-Man numbering. And we practically got nothing in that issue. So here we are, 5 issues later, and we're still meandering around. There is a goblin fight in this issue, but it's like, he doesn't act like the Ultimate Green Goblin, and nothing really happens to any effect. The goblin just sort of runs away. Nothing changes from the beginning of this issue to the end. Anyway, this book follows everything that happens in Ultimate Spider-Man, basically the original Peter Parker Ultimate Spider-Man, in terms of his secret identity and everything. So Miles Morales has this journal. It's like, okay, first of all, you're a high schooler, okay? You're like 15, 16 years old now. What are you doing? What are you doing with a journal? Also, you're Spider-Man. You're fucking Spider-Man. I don't know why on earth you would have a compromising journal that talks about your adventures as Spider-Man. It hasn't even got a lock on it. It's just a normal notebook. Why on earth would Spider-Man keep a catalog of all his adventures? You're jeopardizing your secret identity. You're jeopardizing your family. You're jeopardizing your newborn baby sister. It's absolutely ridiculous. Spider-Man should not have a journal. But basically, this is a reused plotline from the original Ultimate Spider-Man, in that Mary Jane has a compromising journal that talks about like Spider-Man and how Peter like caught her and saved her when she was falling off a bridge, and it almost like outs Peter's identity to Mary Jane's father and Aunt May and stuff, and they have to come up with like a bullshit explanation as to why the journal mentions like Peter saving her life and catching her after she fell off the bridge or whatever. It's like I don't understand the need for people to keep like for like why. I had a journal, so to speak, in my first year of high school, but it wasn't a journal. Like, I didn't talk about my freaking day. It was just like thoughts and ideas and philosophies that I wrote down. sort of a chronicling of like who I was at that very stages of my life. It wasn't like a journal. It's like, dear diary, today I went to the supermarket, but oh no, the Green Goblin was in the produce aisle and we had to fight and he killed my girlfriend. Anyway, I give this book a lot of flack for this reason. Also, rest in peace to the great Tom Lyle who created the Scarlet Spider costume, one of my favorite costumes. And I specifically went out and bought this issue, or not this issue that you see here, but the first issue, Exile Returns, the first appearance of this costume, because I love it so much. But this is a reused plot line where the Goblin attacks his high school, right? Brooklyn Visions, which is like a middle school at originally, but I guess it's also a high school now because he's a high schooler. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, the Green Goblin attacks his high school, and he has to like sneak around and change into Spider-Man without anybody noticing, and it's like big time superhero coming through, and he has to fight the Goblin at his high school, and then he has to like after the fight he has to pretend like he was stuck under rubble or whatever, like Peter Parker did, and then you get the principal who finds out he's Spider-Man but keeps a secret, like in Ultimate Spider-Man with Peter Parker, where it's like that's a big deal. And then you have the journal, which is a big deal in Ultimate Spider-Man because it almost outs Peter Parker to Mary Jane's father and Aunt May and stuff. It's like, why are you just come on? This plotline doesn't work with Miles Morales, by the way, because Mary Jane did it because she was a 15-year-old girl with a superhero boyfriend, right? She was a female and she wasn't a superhero. So it's more common for young women to keep journals, first of all, that talks about that sort of thing, than it is for a male of Miles Morales' age. Certainly a male of Miles Morales' presumed maturity level, and certainly a freaking superhero. Never would Peter Parker keep a journal that talks about all his exploits as Spider-Man because that's compromising information and it could put his family in danger. Why on earth Miles Morales would keep a journal that talks about that sort of thing and then go as far as to lose it? Wow. I really like Miles Morales, but this does not do a lot in his favor. It paints him as a really irresponsible superhero. But anyway, the art in this book kind of annoys me. I like elements of it. I like the way they draw characters like Miles Morales, like faces and stuff like that. Everybody looks technically solid. Like that looks like a drawing of a person, you know? That looks like a drawing of a person. That looks like Miles Morales. But that looks like the Green Goblin, at least in that panel. Everything looks technically solid for the most part, but it's really lazy in that it uses 3D models for everything. Like, look at that. That's clearly a 3D model. And go later on in the book. That looks cool. That's really cool. I don't love the artist's interpretation of the costume. This is by Sama and Almana, I think. Yeah. Hold on, who's this by? Who wrote this book? Yeah. And Javier Guerin did the assistant storytelling. And then who's on pencils? Cover artists. Oh, there's a Gwen Stacy variant. Why? So yeah, I assume, I don't know. It's not clear. Anyway. There are points in this book where the 3D models get really distractingly bad. Like when they're going through the school, it's noticeable and it's a little annoying, but it's not too bad because the foreground is at least drawn. But later on in the book, that's clearly a giant 3D model with just stuff drawn over top. There's no depth to it. In the previous issue, the issue before this, it was really, really bad, where there was just like a whole scene that was that's a 3D model. That's like vaguely sketched over. Anyway, but it does get really bad. That's cool. That's cool visualization. All of that's a 3D model though, with like that's just been sketched over to have damage and whatnot. It actually works pretty well in this page because it's masked. It's masked by the fact that I miss these, by the way. I wish all comics had letter pages because I like to read them. But in this page, the 3D models are masked because there's like detailed drawing over top of the 3D model, so it's not so obvious. And this issue is not particularly bad for the 3D modeling, but throughout the series, that's a great cover, by the way. Who did that? There you go. It looks kind of like Galato a little bit. It's not, though. But yeah, in previous issues of this book, the 3D modeling is really, really bad. It's a little bit better than this one, but it's still kind of lazy. This is there's a preview in this book for Strange Academy by Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. I'm not a big Ramos fan. I really don't like his interpretation of bodies because they look really fucking weird. Like Spider-Man will have this big, broad torso and like these really imperceptibly tiny arms. It's really awkward and weird. Like everybody here looks fine. Everybody there looks like a solid drawing. But I know I'm not reviewing Strange Academy right now, but there are moments in Humberto Ramos's art where it looks really bad. This is a cool cover. This is for issue 16. So see, like, the cover art is usually quite solid. All of these covers are competent in this whole series. The only problem is that the interior art is really freaking lazy a lot of the time. And there are scenes in these books where textures on clothing are clearly like static 2D images, where on Photoshop the artist drew like the outline of the person and just put like a 2D image on the layer behind the background layer behind the image so that it fills it in. And that's really lazy, and you can always tell when that happens. Like plaid shirts in particular are infamous for that sort of lack of detailing. It's like, if you don't want to draw a plaid shirt, don't draw a plaid shirt. Don't give me like this Photoshop bullshit, because it doesn't look at all remotely convincing. Anyway, I don't have a problem with 3D models. I don't have a problem with Photoshop. You have to make it convincing, though. You have to make it look good. You can't use it as an excuse to finish your work early. You're being paid a page rate to draw art, not to have a 3D created image. It's not cool. Use 3D models to help you, not to create the art for you. But yeah, that's Miles Morales Spider-Man number 15, also known as Ultimate Spider-Man number 255. This has been Ethan Ainsworth. New subscribers get a shout out up on the screen right there. Thank you all for watching. I will talk to you guys later.